Hi all, we'll see about action buttons in Flow today. So I'm going to create a new flow here and I'm going to select start from scratch. I'll select screen flow here and I'm going to drag a screen element. I'll name it as account selection. I'm going to drag a lookup component here, lookup, and I'm going to name this as select account. So I'm going to use account ID field on the contact object. So the field API name is account ID on the contact object, and for label I'll use select account only, and object API name is contact. And I'm gonna give the maximum selection as 1 and the default value is 1, so no need to worry here. So here my lookup component is ready. I'm gonna drag the action button, and once you drag the action button you can see you can select the action. So what action need to be performed on the click of the button. So for that I'm gonna create an auto launch flow, and whenever I click on this button I need to call that auto launch flow and get some data. So for example we're gonna cover this scenario here. So I'm gonna select one account and I'm going to click on this button. So it will call my auto launch flow and it will get me all the related contacts under that account. So first thing is we are going to create a new auto launch flow here. So first thing is we'll just save this screen flow. I'll say cone selection demo new. So this is saved. I'm going to create a new flow. This time I'm going to create an auto launch flow. Start from scratch. I'm going to select the auto launch flow. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, so whatever the account selected here, I'm going to pass that account ID, selected account ID, to my auto launch flow. So for that, I'm going to create a new resource which will store the account ID, pass it from the screen flow. So I'll just create a new resource of variable type, of resource type as variable, and name it as account ID, and the data type is text. And I'm going to make sure it should check available for input and click on done. Now I'm going to I'm going to select the get records element, which will get me the related contacts. I'll say get contacts, and the object is contact, and in the where clause I'm going to use account ID equal to the account ID passed from the screen flow, and I need all records, and I'm going to use this choose fields and assign variables. So I'm going to create a new resource here of type variable to store the contact records. So the data type is record and it should allow multiple values, and the object name is contact, and it should available for output. So I'm going to store three fields here. One is the full name and the other is the email. Now I'm going to save this flow. I'll name it as get related contacts demo, and I'm going to save it and I'm going to activate it. So now I'm going to use this auto launch flow on the click of action button. So I'll just come back to the screen flow which we created and just refresh this page once. And here I'm going to drag the action button component, and the API name I'll give it as get related contacts, and label you can give some label here. I'll give the same label, and I'm gonna call the auto launch flow which we created. So this is the auto launch flow which we created, get related cons demo, and you need to pass the input value. So I'm gonna include this. So whatever the account selected here, I'm gonna pass it. So it will come from this lookup component and the record ID. And you can see in the output we are getting the contact records from the auto launch flow. Okay, now I'll just click on done. And the next step is I'm gonna drag the data table element here to show the related contacts. I'll say show contacts as my API name. I'll use the same name for the label, and in the source collection I'm going to select what are all the contacts returned by this auto launch flow. So it is available in this screen actions get related cons demo dot result dot contact records, And configure rows, I'll just make it as view only. And configure columns, I'm gonna add two columns here. One is name, full name, and the other is email. And I'll click on done. I'll save this. I'll activate this, and I'm gonna do click on debug, click on run. So here I'm gonna select edge communication, and I'll click on get related contacts. You can see these are the two contacts, and I'll just close this, and I'll select another account, and I'll click on get related contacts. You can see